First of all, what is your organisation?
So we're a group that essentially looks to lobby governments across the Commonwealth to build closer ties together. So we work with the current Conservative Party, and we try and, we speak to Australia, New Zealand, their respective governments, India, Canada, and just try and build closer ties within each other.
And how many countries are now in the Commonwealth?
So we're on 56. So the Commonwealth started... when the Queen took over, it was 8 nations, and now we're at 56. It's always, one of the things I always do say on these media stuff is it is a voluntary organisation. So although they are mainly comprised of ex-British colonies, everyone there has opted to be a part of the Commonwealth.
Because I think probably the misconception is that maybe the Commonwealth has got smaller from our days of empire, but actually it's actually increased. So do countries, how does it work? Countries apply for membership of the Commonwealth.
That's it. So this year's been amazing because we had 2 countries in Gabon and Togo that didn't actually have any ties to the British Empire, and they decided that they wanted to join the former French colonies, and they said that they felt closer ties towards Britain rather than France, so they wanted to be a part of the Commonwealth. So it's a good point that it is a seemingly growing organisation.
And that, presumably, they want to be part of it for trade, for financial reasons?
Yeah, I think that's where I think we'd like to see, our governments and other ones do more of. There's so much potential in trade, whether it's foreign policy, human rights issues, all those sort of stuff where there's so much potential there, especially as these countries, they have shared history, shared values. A lot of them are well-functioning democracies. And I think it's becoming more important when you see the issues we're having with China and Russia, and then you've got 56 nations that are almost bound together, so it helps.
And how did Brexit affect the number of countries wanting to come into the Commonwealth? Has that played a factor?
I think it's actually helped. So I think one of the things that a lot of Brexiteers talked about is the fact that we've built ties with European countries, and a lot of the time we actually don't have that much in common with.
Yeah.
And then you've got this group over here who, I don't think it's, I don't think it wants to be or ever will be the EU sort of replacement. But there's no reason why, we can't have closer ties with Canada. A good example is with the European Union. We saw them agreeing. It took 7 years to agree a trade deal with Canada, for example, and it's like a snap of the finger when Liz was Foreign Secretary. So I think. It just shows that the Commonwealth has really lots of potential, and in some ways leaving the European Union has actually helped.